Right now, I want to get to the heart of the issue here. Continue talking about today's Toyota hearings on Capitol Hill with David Champion, the Director of Automotive Testing at Consumer Reports. Also with us is former Toyota employee Joel Kurtzman, who's currently a senior fellow at the Milken Institute. Welcome, Joel, and welcome to you, David, both of you as well. Let me first ask you, and I'll start with you, Joel, here, about what you make of this testimony. The problem, as Carol was pointing out earlier, is that a lot of these congressmen are pointing out that Jim Lentz isn't really the right guy to be there testifying. He's not in charge of manufacturing, he's not in charge of safety, and he's really just part of the U.S. marketing arm for the company. Yeah,
I think that's the right observation. Jim Lentz is really running the marketing and sales department of Toyota Japan. Toyota Japan is what controls the manufacture of the car, the design of the car, and so forth. So he's really, in some ways, not the right guy.
Does that mean tomorrow's testimony, that's what we really want to watch when a Kia Toyota steps up? That's
really the critical testimony in terms of getting at the heart of what is responsible for these problems in the cars.
Will we get to the heart, though, tomorrow? As you know, we were talking as we were watching the testimony. It's going to be tough. We have a translator involved. It's hard to kind of get that back and forth, that grilling, I'm guessing, because of that. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated.
It's going to be slow and painstaking, and the question is, will he be able to be as forthcoming as Congress would like? And that's going to be, I think, pretty difficult for him to do.
Let me bring in David here. David, you have just come out with the most recent issue of Consumer Reports, top 2010 cars. You actually rate still the Prius your top pick for green cars. You rate a Lexus as your best choice overall, but you suspended 8 models. Anything to do with problems with the accelerator or the brake? Have you found any? Did you have any of those problems on the cars that you worked on?
We've tested a lot of Toyota vehicles in the past, and we've never had an issue with a sticking pedal or a floor mat entrapment issue in any of the vehicles that we've been testing.
You know, let me ask you, though, David, because Jim Lentz keeps saying they're testifying that they haven't seen any kind of evidence of electronic flaws. You don't agree with it, then?
It's very difficult to rule out everything. You know, this car is a very complex issue, a very complex vehicle to actually put together and drive. From what we've seen, the majority of the instances appear to be related to the pedal entrapment by the floor mats issue. That is the biggest problem. When you look at the recall that was done in 2007, it was an inadequate recall in many ways. It really left the onus on the customer to remove the floor mats. It didn't really attribute any of the issues to the throttle pedal assembly.
David, Consumer Reports makes a number of recommendations that a car should be made with pedals that can overcome floor mats. It seems like a no-brainer. Also, that when you push on the brake, it should kill the accelerator. Also, the throttle, it also seems like a no-brainer. But you do say that unintended acceleration can happen in any car. Why is that the case? Are they too software-based?
No, it just seems to be, when you look through the NHTSA website, nearly every manufacturer there has complaints of unintended acceleration. It's a phenomenon that's been going around for many years, and it's really difficult to get to the heart of these one-off complaints.
Joel, you've been working with company CEOs for over 3 decades. Toyota was your first client several decades ago, and from what I understand, the first thing you stressed with them was quality. Have they lost their way in terms of quality?
Well, I think what's happened is that the company's really changed over the period of time. For one thing, back when I worked with them, Toyota really licensed most of its technology, and then its major addition was in the refinement, constant refinement of the technology. Now it develops its own, so the economics are not there to refine it. Once you develop it on your own, you have a sunk cost, and that's how they look at it. Toyota, I've observed, has changed from a company that's overwhelmingly concerned with quality to one that's overwhelmingly concerned with finances. And that change has really affected the way they do everything.
Just got a few seconds before we have to take a break. That got us to then this point where we are today, in your view, no doubt?
Absolutely. And I think that's the real problem, is that it's a financially driven car manufacturing company now, just like many of the rest of them, and it's in the same boat as the rest of the manufacturing companies.
All right. Hey, Joel, thanks so much for joining us. David, I want to say thank you to you as well. I could spend the entire day really talking about this issue of Consumer Reports. It's one of my favorites.